You're gonna be that way about it.
Well, I know how you are. You're like, you want to talk about something upbeat? How about balloons and flowers and butterflies?
Uh,
Well, that's upbeat. So let me just ask you: did you ever feel like you had any sort of influence when the Vietnam War was going on with the music?
yeah, as a matter of fact, I know we did. You know, I had friends and family uh, that were in the Vietnam War, and I was going to go. They were right behind us on tour with Delaney and Bonnie. And my mother, I called her from some like Detroit or someplace like that. She said, "You got a great big manila envelope in the mail from the U.S. government." And so I went down. I had to leave and go down to Memphis, and I figured I was going on my way, you know, and the Army wouldn't take me. They gave me some tests and stuff, and they 4F'd me. The Army did, and so I figured I would do serve my fellow man, not just one country or the other country, but my fellow man, doing what I do, singing and playing, you know, and sure enough, that's my role was that, and I had family. My cousin Virgil told me, he said, "Hey man, bullets whizzing over the top of my head, and I'm listening to you playing rock and roll in a foxhole, you know." And that was my cousin Virgil. And I had friends that were in school, you know, some of them didn't make it back, some of them made it back missing bits and pieces of their body and stuff. And yeah, everybody was into our music because it was a positive force, like they were into Creedence Clearwater, you know. It was just that particular era, you know. I was ready to go, you know. They asked me, they said, "Would you, well, how do you feel about serving this country?" I said, "I'd be better off, you know, behind a Hammond B3 than a BAR." And turned out I wound up playing Hammond B3 in BARS. Yeah. Yeah, but I know that music helps people through everything, you know.
Did you ever feel like, did the Vietnam ever sort of inspire you to write anything?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, that song Don Nix and I wrote, "Day Without Jesus." You know,
It just came to me that was one of them.
You know, I don't know. I think I sang it on a thing.
Can you sing some of it? Such a great song.
I was standing in the valley when they brought young Willie home. And I'll never forget the way my mama cried when they laid him in the ground. The preacher preached a sermon and they sang the sad, sad songs. And I know I'm gonna meet him in heaven, 'cause he never lived a day without Jesus. Oh, you. And Lord, he's my brother, and he'll always be my friend. And so please won't you understand him, and lend him a helping hand if he needs one. And Willie, he had seen the world by the time he was 21. And Mama, she was so proud of him, so proud of her soldier son. But Willie never ever dreamed that he'd shoot another man down. But God, you gotta forgive him, 'cause he never lived a day without Jesus. Oh, you. See, Lord, he's my brother, and he'll always be my friend. So please won't you understand him, and lend him a helping hand if he needs one by and by.
I forgot about that one. That's such a great
Yeah,
song.
yeah. his brother, Don's brother, could just come back from Vietnam. And we were at Duck Dunn's house. We used to go out there on the weekends, and he had a upright piano on the wall. And we were talking about writing a song. He said something about his brother just got back from the service, and but we used the name Willie, because I got to thinking about an old friend, a school friend of mine that went to Vietnam, Willie Heiss, but I used his name in the song. I hope he sees this video so he'll find that out. Probably bring a smile to his face.
He doesn't know that.
Yeah, he doesn't know that. Yeah, I hadn't
First
seen
time
him in
I mentioned
years.
it.
But his name suited the song better, and he was actually there too. You see, but Larry just didn't sound right. Larry had seen the world. No.
There was, that was sort of like it was because my dad was in the military in
Yeah.
Vietnam. He was a fighter pilot and all that.
My personal hero.
But it just, because I heard something today from a guy who was in Vietnam and he was describing the experience that he had. But it made me think about that. There's a lot, there's a lot of vets here in Texas.
Yeah.
A lot of them just go unnoticed, and so I kind of like to remember them.
Yeah, absolutely. People laid their life on the line. A lot of them didn't get back home,
Well, a lot of them got home and they weren't well.
Well, yeah, they weren't well. My good friend Bob Dant, I spoke about him before. He had 2 Purple Hearts, and he passed away just recently, but we did a thing, I was talking about him. My personal heroes is your dad being one, and then Bob Dant. And I'll be daggum, he passed away 2 days after we made the video. But he was a good man, and he had that Agent Orange, turned his spine into chalk, and he had a tough time after Vietnam. He was a spotter and was in the jungle 10 months. He said he had become Audie Murphy. He really was, and his head was blown apart with a grenade, and he got stabbed, he got shot, and they pulled him in from the front line and brought him back. He was a spotter, so he was the guy that would go find the enemy and call in their coordinates, and he had a radio man that would call that in, and that's the first person that the enemy were going to shoot was the radio man, then the spotter. And Bob told me, he said he didn't even want to know their name anymore because he went through so many radio men. He made great moonshine, Bob Dant. His great grandfather was J.W. Dant, and so he was like Jack Daniels and J.W. Dant were kind of rivals but friends. Bob used to make moonshine and up in North Carolina go get it and bring it back. Peach bounce and cherry bounce. Now, I looked online the other day. I was just going through Bob's, obituary and stuff, and one of his family members has they're a distiller, the Dant Enterprises, so carrying the name along. But he was my closest friend. We spent a lot of time together.
Yeah.
Had a beautiful voice, had a low voice like Don Williams.
Yeah, he cut a record, didn't he?
Yeah, Roger Cook cut a record on
I forgot
Bob.
about it. Roger
Horse songs.
Roger Cook came up a couple of times.
Yeah, Run for the Roses, some other songs. Just beautiful. Bob had a beautiful, beautiful baritone voice,
Well, did he ever release the record?
Well, I think they did just for, local and for friends and stuff. He was a horse guy. I traded him a 55 Chevrolet and some cowboy boots for 5 horses one time. And so we were always trading horse stuff and cars, guns, just all sorts of things,
He was an interesting man, to say the least.
Yeah.
He lived in a little cabin that had no
Yeah,
floor.
he
Floor.
Yeah,
Dirt.
He part of it did.
Dirt floor, I'll never forget.
His cabin in Eagleville, he cut the trees down and took the bark off of them and built his place. And
Yeah.
Kind of like where we are now. If we want to just build a cabin, we could do it, and we wouldn't have to ask anybody's permission or.
We don't need one.
We certainly don't need one. We could probably build one in the foyer.
Or in the front yard or something.
Yeah, easy enough, you know.
Just to anger the neighbors, piss off the neighbors.
Yeah. Well, you know about
Put
that.
some old shack out there.
Yeah. An outdoor toilet.
Oh God. No, I don't think so. No.
Beverly Hillbillies.
No, that will not happen. No, I don't think so. All right. Well, I really enjoyed this chat. Again, we're just sort of. I would like to dedicate it to our guy, all these guys that have been in the service and
Absolutely.
Fought for
Thank
this
you
country.
all. Thank you all.
I know a
neighbor across the way.
There are a lot of guys I would imagine that are on this channel that have been in the service and.
Wild Bill over there, he's suffering from Agent Orange, and from Coco and me. Thank you, for your service. That's for sure.
On this odd day in July.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks very much, honey.